opening up people because of solid screens.
We saw the officials this evening, and those men will have their hands full tonight. We are underway from Chicago Stadium.
Now with Detroit, very methodical. They like to get James Edwards going early.
Remember in game one, Detroit fell behind by 12 early on as Dumars hits the first shot.
Now if Michael Jordan did not trail Dumars that time, it would have been a two-man game, Dumars and James Edwards.
We saw in the open, Dumars only 9 points in game one. Cartwright in the middle. This time comes up a little short. Goes in hard to Lambier, and that'll be an offensive foul on Cartwright.
Good call that time. This is an interesting matchup. Edwards and Cartwright. Detroit needs Edwards to score. Chicago needs Cartwright out on the floor for the rebounding, and also because he does such an excellent job at keeping people off of their defensive board.
Pistons were talking today. They need a little more hate factor coming into the game as Dumars' high archer will come down, and Pippen, you try to take him off the dribble.
Now this is the test right here. Scottie Pippen in the open floor. Can Detroit get back quickly? Dennis Rodman will always be giving him 5 to 20 feet. He must catch up to him, stop the dribble, and force them back into their half-court offense.
Coming over on the bus, the Detroit players were telling us they were passing around an article where Michael Jordan said Detroit plays dirty as Thomas takes it inside for two, and that's a good sign for Chuck Daly.
That's a big sign. Anytime that Isaiah can go down in there and then elevate, he says that he feels he can get into the paint. The problem is I do not think that I can get the lift off to complete the play.
Jordan continuing his shooting woes. Shooting just above 40% for the playoffs.
Detroit likes to get James Edwards going early.
Rodman over the back of Grant will be whistled for his first personal foul.
Grant's in for a long night. Anytime that you have Rodman as your assignment, you know that he's going to be over the offensive boards. He's averaging over 4 a game in the playoffs, just like he did during the season in leading the league in offensive rebounding.
Chicago 0 of 3 from the floor. Shot 50% in game one for the playoffs. They're shooting at even 50%.
Plenty of time here, 6 seconds.
Jordan's shot comes up short. He has an 0 for going, 0 for 2. Here comes Thomas on the break.
Were we worried about Zeke elevating?
What a pass inside. Rodman can't hold on to it. He's showing a lot more mobility than he did in practice this morning. Chuck Daly, 5 straight 50-win seasons. He led the Pistons. Jordan has to dish off Paxson for 2.
Chicago has outstanding spacing on the opposite side of where the action is. Now we will see full court pressing on and off by Chicago. They give you the quick trap right there.
Nobody really came to help Isaiah. Paxson again. Pippen.
Chicago's transition game is so outstanding because you have Jordan and Pippen in the middle of the floor with the ball, and then they will stop on a dime and kick the ball wide to either Paxson or Hodges, his substitute, spotting up for a 2 or a 3. Very difficult to cover.
Big game for Detroit. They don't want to go down 2-0 in this series. Only 7 teams have come back from 2-0 deficits, and game 2s are so much different than game 1. Shot clock goes off. The ball will belong to the Bulls, and there's talking going on. Third Detroit turnover already.
Detroit just outstanding during the course of the playoffs. They're only averaging 10 turnovers, and that's steering quite a few ball games.
Grant over Edwards. Doesn't get it. Gets his own foul.
I'll tell you, Cartwright was terrific. He not only shot the shot, he knew that he was going to miss. He came right up over Edwards' back for that tap.
6 straight points for Chicago as Joe Dumars answers with his 4th of the ball game. We are tied at 6. 8:20 left in the first.
Good sign for Detroit. Joe is being very aggressive from the offensive end. That will keep Jordan busy at both ends.
Chicago has won only 1 playoff series versus Detroit back in 1974. That was in the first round. Shot clock at 3. Pippen has to launch it up, and he's got it.
This series has quite a few outstanding three-point shooters. Chicago, one of the best teams in the league. They shoot at about 35% on threes. That's very, very good in this league.
Good defense by Chicago. Edwards has it stripped away. 3-on-2. Rodman hustles back, but the ball still belongs to the Bulls with 20 on the shot clock.
At that time, Rodman had a long way to come. Now just watch this. See, once Pippen gets the ball out on the wing, Rodman has got to honor the fact that he can drive. But Pippen will launch the long jump shots. He's an excellent three-point shooter.
Dumars on Jordan.
That's a clear out. Nice. Even though you can get Michael and you stop him, once he elevates, he has incredible vision and will always deliver the pass to someone who has a better shot than him.
Chicago's 10-2 run has given them a 10-6 lead. Thomas from outside.
Interesting defense that time. Chicago switching on the pick and roll, putting Pippen on Isaiah and Paxson on Lambier at the top of the circle.
Isaiah with only 11 points, but he was the only starter in double figures Sunday afternoon. He was 3 of 9. He already has 4. 6 on the shot clock. Pippen lets it go. Rodman with the rebound, pulls it away from Grant.
Big thing right now, the Detroit Pistons are, they're not really smooth yet. Here's the switch. Now, you see, Edwards has got, if they're going to do that, you've got to go right away down inside.
Jordan thought he got all ball, but he got a piece of Joe Dumars. He's picked the first personal foul. 6:28 left in the first, and there's a timeout. Bulls by 2.
Now, after foul shots, we're going to see Scottie Pippen is a freelance double-team man. Now, remember, this is his man, Bill Lambier. So, Detroit will send Lambier long, hoping to take advantage once they get the ball inbounds. Now, you're going to see it now. See, they release Pippen, and he'll come, and he'll help out on his trap. Now, that forced the turnover, and at the other end of the floor, Chicago scores. Now, what we're saying now, if you're Detroit, what you're hoping is that you can beat that trap, get the ball up the floor, because Lambier is spotting up in the opposite corner away from Pippen. And that's a long run for Scottie during the course of an evening.
Look at Bill Lambier, who said after the game on Sunday, went in the locker room, was very boisterous. Said if he would have just played anything, they would have won the ball game. Joe Dumars, his first free throw.
Yeah, but to back Lambier up there, Joe Dumars, a terrific series in '89. Now, to back Lambier up, he only played 17 minutes because he has a problem with his knee. And sure, if he would have been in there, they probably would have kept him on the floor a lot more. Now we're seeing the Detroit press. It's a 2-2-1. Once you get it past half court, they'll match up and play man-to-man. So we will have pressing at both ends of the floor after foul shots.
Talk about big pick and rolls. That'll be the key to this game, too. Cartwright gets it inside to Pippen. That was a good catch, better than it was a pass.
Yes, it was. That was a great catch because Rodman was between Pippen and that ball. That was a beautiful catch in traffic.
Chicago now has 10 points from the front court, only 2 from the back court. Just the opposite for Chicago. Thomas's shot swatted away by Cartwright.
Detroit's attacking, but Chicago doing an excellent job. This is the guy that they've got to get off, Paxson. He's been struggling in the playoffs. He's only shooting 41%. Now, we're talking about a guy who, during the season, shot 57% in two-point opportunities.
And he's been getting his shots. It's not that he's not getting the good shots. Edwards in the lane, doesn't get it.
The key to that play, Michael Jordan coming across. Almost blocked that. Look at it. Wow.
Now you've got the Chicago Stadium crowd into it, and that is what visiting teams try to avoid.
When that ball goes down inside for Detroit, Michael Jordan will leave his man and come flying once you elevate and turn for that shot.
Chicago on a 6-0 run. They've opened up a 6-point lead with 5:06 left to be played in the first quarter. you're Chuck Daly. You saw this happen on Sunday. You dig yourself into a deep hole. What is he telling his troops right now? They're obviously not going to be affected by the crowd. They're a veteran team.
You can see in the early going, they are going down in there. They're trying to establish the power game with Edwards, and also Isaiah has been challenging. But they feel that they are getting bumped, and they are not getting the early calls. So there has been some exasperation, like right here. Watch the head fake. Cartwright over the top. Great block that time by Cartwright, but he did get Isaiah right on the wrist. Now, there is Isaiah's man up the floor. Paxson wide open, wide.
Dumars over Jordan, and the rainbow comes down into the net.
See, if Joe can continue to establish a perimeter game, he'll keep Michael at home more, and Michael cannot be the designated double team man.
That was Cartwright's first block of the playoffs, by the way. We have our first illegal defense call.
Isaiah's stunned. The call is on Isaiah. His man, Paxson, was above the three-point shooting line. Isaiah must be above the foul line. Isaiah rotated down inside. He cannot believe that the call was on him.
Talk about trying to bring it inside for Detroit. Of course, Chicago outshot him at the free throw line, 37-15 in game one. Inside, Grant. It goes, and the foul is called.
Give Grant a lot of credit. That was a strong move. But if Detroit is going to trap big man, Lambier to Edwards, now you're going to see this. Once that ball goes down inside, here it comes now. The play will go. Now they are going to put it down in. Two big men trap Grant. Well, you cannot allow him to split your 2 7-footers and then take you strong to the basket without going to the floor. You do not give him a possible three-point play.
Grant, who's 3 of 3 from the floor, tries to get his 7th point of the ball game, and he does just that. Watch the press now put on by Chicago as John Sally is checked in for Detroit. Edwards sits down.
Now the trap can come in the backcourt or at half court.
Sally, no points, 1 rebound in game one between these two. Lambier tries to set the pick. There it is.
Bad pass, but the idea is there. They have plenty of time, 5 seconds.
For 3, Dumars drains it.
Hey, Michael Jordan is looking at Joe and saying, Joe, you're knocking in some babies because I'm right in your face.
He is 4 or 5, and there's not much trash talking now. Great play. Good defense by Rodman.
See, that was a solid trap. He could not pass out of the trap.
Sally doesn't get it. Lambier tries to get the rebound. Can't come up with it. Paxson, he has a 3-on-3. Thomas almost pickpockets Jordan.
Difference between the two teams, an outstanding transition game by Chicago. See, Michael went right inside with Isaiah, wanted to post them up.
Jordan gives the ball up, and it ends up in Cartwright's hand. He takes advantage of it.
They're still hot from Sunday. They're still making all of their jump shots.
Now, this morning we saw in Detroit shoot-around, they changed some of their defensive schemes where they almost were giving up a lot of dangerous defensive scheme. Are they going to take more chances defensively tonight?
Well, we'll see as the game rolls on. But right now, Chicago has hit every single shot. Shooting 63%, 10 to 16.
Dumars trying to draw a little bit more rain on the rainbow. Doesn't get it. 3:05 left in the first. The Bulls lead it by 6.
See, Chuck Daly is concerned because he sees nothing in the paint right now. It's almost a carbon copy of Sunday.
Chicago has hit their last 5 field goal attempts. We are inside of 3 minutes from Chicago Stadium. Ron Coolin and Hubie Brown. Paxson lets it fly. The 3 won't go. Rodman with the board.
In the backcourt, you're Detroit. You must protect the basketball. That's a tough call. People are all upset on that one. Thought they had Isaiah on an offensive foul on Paxson. Paxson was sliding over to take away the sideline on Isaiah. They're going to give you a replay. We just can't see from that area. Paxson looks like he's definitely there. See, but if Paxson had the line, we could not tell from that angle. That should have been a charge.
6 left in the first.
We're going to show you that play again from a higher angle, and you're going to see that Paxson is definitely moving. It's an excellent call. See, and the replay that we gave you before, we could not tell whether Paxson had taken